Welcome to the Senior Techie Podcast. Imagine this scenario for a second. Your spouse passes away.
Right. The most difficult time imaginable.
Exactly. You are grieving, you're trying to figure out all the funeral arrangements, and you need to pay for those final medical expenses.
Which pile up so fast.
They really do. And the money to cover all of it is sitting right there in the checking account. I mean, you know it's there.
Oh, and the bank knows it's there, too.
Right. But when you try to actually access those funds, the bank absolutely refuses to let you touch a single dime.
Yeah, they lock the doors.
You are entirely locked out of the finances you need most, right when you need them. So we're looking at a stack of estate planning guidelines, bank policy documents, and, recent tech platform terms of service to figure out exactly how these systems operate behind the scenes.
Because it is a completely different world behind the scenes.
It is. And our mission here is to make sure that lockout never happens to your family. We are exploring what happens to our bank accounts, our automatic bill payments, and our online lives after we pass away.
The digital stuff is huge.
Massive. But more importantly, we are breaking down the incredibly straightforward, really powerful steps you can take to ensure a smooth transition for your loved ones. Look, you already have the organizational skills to handle this, so we are just going to map out the exact tools you need.
It really is just about having the right blueprint, honestly. A lot of the anxiety surrounding estate planning comes from, the unknown.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, people assume there is some massive, complex legal wall they have to climb over. But when you look at the source material, setting your family up for a seamless transition is largely a matter of routine administrative tasks.
It's paperwork.
Exactly. You are essentially leaving your family a map and a set of keys, allowing them to just walk right through the doors you've left open for them, rather than hitting a brick wall. And we're going to detail exactly how to leave those doors open.
Okay, so before we can talk about the solutions, the keys, and the maps, we really need to understand the default rules of the banking system.
We have to know what we're up against.
Right. We have to know exactly what it is we are fixing. And that brings us to a piece of terminology that gets thrown around constantly in estate planning, which is probate.
Ah, yes, probate.
If you aren't familiar with the actual mechanics of it, think of probate like being stuck in a bureaucratic waiting room at a massive, very slow-moving government building.
That is the perfect way to describe it.
Right. Your money is locked inside a heavily guarded vault, and you absolutely cannot get the key to that vault until a judge meticulously reviews every single piece of your paperwork, verifies your legal standing, and officially stamps it.
It is a waiting room,
Yeah.
and the door to the vault is firmly shut. You see, when a bank learns that an account holder has passed away, their default standard procedure is to immediately freeze that account.
Just immediate.
Immediately. They might find out through, the Social Security death index, or a family member might innocently call to inform them. The moment that flag goes up in their system, the freeze is automatic.
Wow.
Yeah. If you are the only name on that account, and there is no designated beneficiary listed, your family is effectively locked out. They cannot simply log in online and pay the mortgage.
Oh, right.
They can't write a check for the electric bill.
Yeah.
They cannot even view the account balance without getting that official court-appointed authority from the probate judge.
Wait, that feels incredibly cold.
It does.
If the money is sitting right there, and let's say the couple was legally married for 40 years, why in the world is the bank locking out a grieving spouse? That seems like a terrible business practice to freeze funds that are obviously meant to cover the family's survival and those final expenses.
I completely agree. It feels completely counterintuitive and, cold. But from the bank's perspective, it all comes down to liability.
Liability.
And risk mitigation. Yeah. When an account holder dies, the bank's primary legal obligation is to ensure the funds only go to the legally authorized recipient.
Okay.
So imagine a scenario where a bank simply hands the money over to a spouse who walks in and asks for it. Then, 3 weeks later, a child from a previous marriage surfaces with a legally binding will, stating that the funds in that specific account were meant for them.
Oh, I see.
If the bank already gave the money to the spouse without court authorization, the bank itself can be sued and held liable for those funds. They might have to pay out twice.
So they just lock everything down.
To protect their own assets, yes. They deploy a rigid, unyielding system. They freeze individual accounts across the board upon death unless there's a joint owner already on the account or an explicitly named beneficiary. It's a mechanism built entirely to avoid lawsuits.
So the default system is really designed to protect the massive financial institution, not to comfort or accommodate your grieving family.
That's the unfortunate reality.
And the sources highlight just how devastating this can be. There is a deeply frustrating story in the estate planning journals we reviewed about a widow who experienced exactly this.
Yes, I remember that one.
Her husband passed away, and because his primary checking account, the one they use for all their major bills, was solely in his name, it was frozen immediately upon his death.
Just locked tight.
Right, and she was not specifically named as a beneficiary on that particular account, so she spent 6 grueling weeks dealing with lawyers, completely unable to pay his final medical bills or their shared household expenses.
6 weeks is a long time when bills are due.
It's forever. The money was just sitting there, completely inaccessible, and the hospital billing department was entirely unsympathetic to the delays of the probate court. They just sent her past due notices while she was trying to mourn.
That 6-week gap is incredibly common, and sometimes it stretches into months or even a year, depending on how backlogged the local court system is. The family is trapped in that bureaucratic waiting room while the bills continue to pile up on the outside.
Which is awful. But solving that exact problem brings us to the simplest, most powerful fix in all of estate planning. Because we understand why the freeze happens and the absolute pain of that probate waiting room, we can look at how to build a back door.
The completely legal backdoor.
Yes, we can bypass that waiting room entirely. So we are talking about 2 pieces of jargon here, POD and TOD.
Right, payable on death and transfer on death.
I want you to picture these like a VIP fast pass at a crowded theme park. While everyone else is standing in that endless winding line for the probate judge, the VIP Fast Pass lets your family walk straight to the front, bypass the line, and access the ride immediately.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks. When you attach a POD or TOD designation to your account, you are legally attaching a specific person's name to that asset. And because that Fast Pass is right there attached to the account itself, it skips the legal waiting room of probate entirely.
The bank doesn't have to wonder who the money goes to.
Exactly. And they don't have to worry about liability because you've already given them an unbreakable legal directive.
The mechanism is incredibly straightforward, which makes it one of the most effective tools you have. For your standard checking accounts, savings accounts, and certificates of deposit, you simply contact your bank and ask for a payable on death, or POD beneficiary form.
Can you do that online usually?
Oh yeah. In many cases, you can even do this directly through your online banking portal. You fill it out, name the person or people you want the funds to go to, and you are done.
And what about the other one, the TOD?
For your investment and brokerage accounts, the financial industry uses the term transfer on death, or TOD. It functions in exactly the same way. You are creating a direct contract with the financial institution that dictates what happens to that specific asset the moment you pass away.
So it's the exact same VIP Fast Pass, just a slightly different acronym depending on whether it's a bank or a brokerage.
Correct. And the source material heavily emphasizes that this shouldn't be a one-time event. You need to review the beneficiaries on your retirement accounts, like your IRAs and 401ks, annually.
Because things change.
Life changes. People get married, divorce, or, pass away themselves. You want to confirm that the named recipients for those accounts, as well as any annuities or life insurance policies you hold, actually reflect your current wishes.
Okay, let me push back on this, or at least ask a question that trips up a lot of people when they are organizing their finances. Let's say I go through the effort of drafting a meticulous, comprehensive will.
Okay.
And in that will, I state that all my assets should be divided equally among my 3 children. But years ago, I put a POD designation on my primary savings account, naming only my sister as the beneficiary, and I totally forgot to change it.
This happens all the time.
When I pass away, who wins? Does my family follow the will, or does the bank follow the POD?
The bank follows the POD every single time.
Really?
Every time. This is a crucial rule of estate planning. A beneficiary designation at a financial institution supersedes whatever is written in your will regarding that specific asset.
Wow.
The reason is structural. Your will only governs assets that go through probate. Because a POD designation legally bypasses probate entirely, the will simply has no jurisdiction over that account.
It's on a completely different track.
Exactly. The bank is legally bound by the direct contract you signed with them on that POD form. If your sister is on the form, your sister gets the money, regardless of what your will says about dividing things among your children. That is why these designations are such powerful bypass tools, but it is also exactly why you must keep them updated.
That makes absolute sense. So paint a picture of what this actually looks like for the family. Let's say I've updated my PODs and TODs, I got my fast passes in place. When that inevitable day comes, how does the experience at the bank change for my loved ones?
The contrast is night and day compared to the widow who was locked out for 6 weeks. Instead of hiring attorneys and filing petitions with the court, your named beneficiary simply walks into the local branch of the bank.
Just walks in.
Just walks in. They present an original certified death certificate and their own valid government-issued ID. The teller verifies the PID designation on file, verifies the ID, and the account transfers directly to the beneficiary.
No judge.
No judge involved. There is no waiting period beyond the bank's basic processing time. And crucially, there are no legal fees eating away at the account balance. The transition is immediate, seamless, and entirely private.
Knowing that you have the ability to just sidestep the whole legal maze for your liquid assets is incredibly empowering. But having secured those main accounts so the money can be accessed, we have to look at the other side of the equation. We fixed the input problem, but now we have an output problem.
Yes, we do.
We need to talk about the automated systems pulling money out of those accounts.
The convenience of modern automated banking suddenly becomes a massive complication when an account holder passes away.
I like to think of autopay like a car engine that you've left running. It's incredibly convenient when you're sitting in the driver's seat, cruising along, not having to manually push the pedals for every single bill.
Right.
But what happens if the driver steps out of the vehicle and the engine just keeps running, driving the car forward blindly? That is what happens when an account is frozen by the bank, but the automated billing machines out in the world keep trying to do their jobs.
We call this the auto-pay trap. As we just established, the moment the bank is notified, they freeze the account to prevent unauthorized withdrawals. But your local utility company, your home insurance provider, your cell phone carrier, and your various streaming subscriptions, they do not know that someone has passed away.
They have no idea.
None. Their automated computer systems are simply programmed to request a specific amount of money on a specific day of the month.
Yeah.
So they keep pinging a frozen account trying to pull funds.
And what's the actual fallout from those automated requests hitting a brick wall?
It triggers a domino effect of financial messes for your family to clean up. Sometimes it results in a cascade of overdraft or returned payment fees.
Which add up fast.
Very fast. But the much more dangerous scenario is when the payments simply bounce and the services are cut off. Suddenly, the family home goes dark because the electric bill lapsed while everyone was busy planning a funeral. The heat gets shut off in the middle of winter.
That's terrible.
Or, in a truly disastrous scenario outlined in our sources, a homeowner's insurance policy gets canceled for non-payment. If a pipe bursts or a fire starts a week later, the property is completely unprotected, all because an automated payment failed while the family was locked out of the frozen checking account.
Which is the absolute last thing a grieving family needs to be dealing with. So how do we safely reach into that running car and turn off the engine? How do we stop the blind automation?
Well,
the solution outlined in the estate planning guidelines is remarkably simple, and it doesn't require any legal maneuvering. It's a physical roadmap. You just make a list.
a simple, well-organized list can prevent an immense amount of chaos.
Cool. You sit down with a piece of paper or a digital document, and you write down every single bill that auto pays from your accounts. You write the name of the company, the specific account number, and exactly which bank account or credit card it draws the money from.
That's the baseline.
Right. But here is the most critical part of this roadmap. You have to clearly note whether each bill is essential or optional.
Categorizing them is vital for managing the executor's cognitive load during a crisis. If your child or spouse steps in to manage your affairs and sees a list of 20 different automatic drafts, they might panic trying to manage all of them at once.
I know I would.
Exactly. But if you have clearly delineated that the winter heating bill, the mortgage, and the property insurance are essential and must be transitioned to a new payment method immediately, while the monthly streaming service, the gym membership, or the magazine subscription are optional and can be canceled, you give them the clarity they need. They know exactly what keeps the house standing and what they can safely ignore or cancel while they manage the more pressing issues.
You're completely removing the guesswork. You have navigated these specific systems for years, so you know intuitively which bills keep the lights on and the house insured. Passing that intuitive knowledge down in a clear, written format is an incredible gift.
It really is.
But
Yeah.
mapping out the physical bills is only half the battle when it comes to the modern world. With that roadmap at hand, the family still needs a way to actually log into those accounts, cancel the optional services, and manage your overall digital footprint safely. And they need to do it without running afoul of tech company policies or compromising your security.
This brings us to a really fascinating and often misunderstood area of modern estate planning. The digital landscape requires a completely different set of tools than your physical assets. You can't just hand someone a physical key to an online account.
Let's define the jargon here, because the tech world loves its terminology. We need to talk about a password manager and a digital executor.
Two very important terms.
Right, so imagine a password manager as a highly secure, heavily encrypted digital lockbox. Instead of having dozens of different flimsy keys for all the different doors in your digital life, your email, your banking portal, your social media accounts, you put all those individual keys inside the lockbox. Then you only need to remember one single complex master key to open the box itself. That is your password manager.
It relies on what's called zero-knowledge encryption, meaning even the company providing the password manager doesn't know what your master key is. It is the most secure way to handle the sheer volume of passwords we all have to maintain today, far safer than using the same simple password for every website.
And then we have the digital executor. If the password manager is the secure lockbox, the digital executor is the person you are giving a digital power of attorney to. You are formally, legally handing them the authority to use that master key and manage your digital house.
And this is where the sources deliver a massive warning. A lot of well-intentioned people try to solve this digital access problem by just writing their passwords or their master password directly into their will.
Oh, no.
They think it's the safest place for important information. You must never, ever put passwords inside a will.
Never. Because most people don't realize what actually happens to a will after you pass away.
Exactly. A will does not remain a private, sealed family document. Once it goes through the probate process we discussed earlier, a will becomes a matter of public record.
Public record, so anyone can see it.
Anyone can go down to the county courthouse or even search online in some jurisdictions and request to read it. If you have written your passwords in your will, you have essentially published the keys to your financial and digital life for the entire world to see.
It's like taking that highly secure, encrypted lockbox, opening it up, and leaving it on a park bench.
It compromises everything. Instead, the secure approach is to use a password manager that has a built-in emergency access feature. These features allow you to designate a trusted person, your digital executor, who can request access to your vault if something happens to you.
How does that work?
Well, there's usually a waiting period built into the software, like 48 hours, to ensure it's a legitimate request. Alternatively, you can keep a sealed, regularly updated list of your passwords in a highly secure physical location, like a fireproof home safe or a bank safety deposit box that your executor knows about and has the legal means to access.
Okay, so we've securely handed over the master key, perhaps in that sealed envelope in the home safe. But I have to ask about the legal authority, because this trips up a lot of families.
Let's hear it.
Let's say my child has the sealed envelope. They have my username and my password for my online banking. The account isn't frozen yet. Why can't they just naturally log in, pretend to be me, and transfer some funds to cover those essential bills we mapped out? They have the key, so why can't they just open the door?
It is a very common assumption. But legally, the answer is a definitive no.
Really?
Yes. Just because you possess the password does not mean you possess the legal authority to use it. In fact, logging into someone else's account after they have passed away, even if you are their child, and even if they gave you the password while they were alive, is almost always a violation of the tech company or bank's terms of service.
I had no idea.
Furthermore, in many jurisdictions, unauthorized access to a computer system after the owner's death can actually violate computer fraud and abuse laws.
Wow. So simply having the key does not grant you the right to enter the property.
Precisely. The tech companies operate under strict data privacy laws. If they find out an account holder has passed away and a family member is logging in without proper legal authorization, they will immediately lock the account to protect the data privacy of the deceased.
So they freeze it again.
Yep. And this is exactly why the concept of a digital executor is so critical. Your estate documents must specifically name a digital executor. State laws regarding digital assets have been highly fragmented, though many states have adopted versions of laws that require explicit consent.
So you need a lawyer to draft it.
Your attorney needs to include clear, robust digital asset authorization in your estate planning documents. This gives your digital executor the legal standing to contact Google, Apple, or your bank, present their documentation, and say, I have the legal authority to manage, close, or extract data from these accounts. Without that specific language, the tech companies will simply refuse to grant access, no matter how much your family begs.
It's a completely different landscape than physical property. We can't just rely on informal handoffs when it comes to our digital lives. We have to be as intentional about authorizing access to our online footprint as we are about putting a POD on our checking accounts. But again, you already have the organizational mastery to handle this. It's just a matter of knowing the rules of the road and utilizing the tools the senior techie constantly highlights to make these transitions easier.
The legal system and the tech platforms are still figuring out how to handle the massive digital lives we all lead. By taking these steps, now naming a digital executor, securing your passwords outside of your public will, and setting up those POD designations, you are shielding your family from a tremendous amount of bureaucratic frustration and legal limbo.
We've covered the banking freeze, the POD bypass, the autopay trap, and the digital executor. It sounds like a lot, but the beauty of this process is that you don't have to tackle it all in one afternoon. You can take this step by step.
Pace yourself.
So here is our call to action for you. We want you to take just one empowering action the next time you sit down at your computer. Pick one single financial account that you use regularly. It could be your primary checking account or your main savings account. Log into that account or look at your most recent statement and verify whether it has a named beneficiary. If it does not, call the institution on the very next business day and request the POD form.
It is a simple 5-minute administrative task that directly bypasses the probate waiting room.
And while you are logged into that account, take a pen and jot down 3 bills that autopay from it. Just 3. Write down the company, the account number, and categorize them as essential or optional. That is your start. You've officially begun building the roadmap for your family.
As you begin organizing that roadmap, it naturally leads to a broader perspective on what you are leaving behind. I'll leave you with a final question to ponder. We spend so much time focusing on the financial aspects, ensuring the bills are paid, the bank accounts are accessible, and the investments are transferred. But beyond the finances, what other digital footprints might your family need that legal master key to access and preserve? Think about the thousands of cherished family photos stored solely in a cloud account, or the long-forgotten email archives that hold years of personal correspondence, family recipes, and history. If the vault door locked, what irreplaceable pieces of your story would be trapped inside? Ensuring they have the right digital keys isn't just about managing money, it's about preserving your legacy.
That is a profound thought to carry with us as we organize our lives. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and you are more than capable of putting these simple, powerful protections in place. This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to receive their free newsletters, you can subscribe at subscribe.theseniortechie.com.